Hey guys, it's Kaylin here at Full Purpose and Heart. Welcome to my channel. Those of you that are new here or maybe just stumbled upon this video, my name is Kaylin. I'm a homeschooling parent of two school-aged kiddos. I have 3 kids. And this video is a part of a series that I'm gonna do about how we begin our homeschool year. This is the 2019-2020 school year. I have a 2nd grader and a junior kindergartner, and I've organized all of their schoolwork so that we are ready to go for the duration of our school year. And I wanted to show you exactly how I did that. So if you are new to homeschooling or if you're looking for a different pattern, hopefully this video will be some value to you so you can get a few ideas and then modify it so it fits your classroom, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as I mentioned, this is going to be a video as a part of a series that I'm doing, several tidbits and pieces that I do when I begin a new school year, just the back to homeschool necessities. So this is just a piece of that video or that video series. So I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail about some of these pieces, and because I have other videos that are going to explain a little bit further. So if there's one component or another that you're more interested in, then hopefully you'll be able to find that in one of my more detailed videos, okay? So this particular video is strictly about how I organize the whole school year from the beginning to the end, okay? So it always starts, here we go, we're just without further ado, right? It always starts with the year at a glance. Now there's quite a glare on this from the window, I apologize about that, but this is just a year at a glance. Here, I'll get a little closer, there we go. And what I've done is I just divide out all of the months of the year, and I put them on this is just a Word document. Make a little cute boxes and some pictures because that's how I go, if you know me at all. And I just put all of the dates down Monday through Friday. And what I do, the first thing that I do is block off any holidays or vacations or trips that our family is taking where we're not going to be having regular school hours on that day. So I'll just put, like you can see on mine here, I just put like slash marks between those days, okay? So major holidays as well as just trips that I know my family is gonna take, or like Christmas we always take 2 weeks, Thanksgiving I take a full week, that sort of stuff, okay? So I block off those days that I know I'm gonna take off. From there, what I do is I kind of estimate based on the curriculum material that I have, because I've already purchased all my curriculum at this point of the game, and I kind of guess how many lesson days or how many school days I'm going to need. My largest curriculum right now is our English studies, and it's 160 lessons. I might have just thrown that number out, but I'm pretty sure it's 160 lessons, which means I knew I needed to be about 160 school days. Now, it's really, really important that if you're new to homeschooling, that you begin to train yourself to not be a slave to your curriculum. Just because there are 160 lessons in your curriculum, that does not mean that you have to teach all 160 days. There may be a section of the curriculum where your student is very proficient, so you can skip some of those lessons. Or maybe you begin to fall behind and you're starting to get into June and it's like, you know what? I'm done. I'm not going to do these last 15 or 20 lessons because at the beginning of the new school year, you're going to review anyway. So just a general estimate of how many lessons you're going to need for your largest curriculum. For me, that was English, so I knew I needed to be around 160 school days, and then I choose about when I want to finish. For me, I want to finish school before my husband's birthday, which is at the end of May, so I know I want to be finished about, first or second week of May. And from there, I just begin to count backwards. When it all came down to it, I knew I needed to start in, oops, I pointed on the wrong side. I knew I needed to start in July because a couple of things that were important to me were having sporadic days off throughout the school year. Now, we're not year-round schoolers. I do take a summer break. We take about 8 weeks off in the summer. I forgot to move my birds out. They can be kind of loud, so hold on just a second. Okay, so that should help at least with the background noise not being so distracting, for me at least. Hope maybe it wasn't distracting for you. Anyway, as I was saying, something that's really important to me is making sure that during the school year, I have several days off. Now, when I was teaching high school way back when, I remember having conversations saying, I wish we had a shorter summer and that we had more days off during the school year, because sometimes I just got burned out and I needed a break. Now transitioning into homeschool, I'm still very aware of those feelings. So for me, having a Friday off every so often, maybe a whole week off, that was something that I wanted to incorporate into our school calendar. And that's what I do at the beginning of the year before I begin looking into lesson planning or how to like organize the school day. I need to decide which days we're gonna be in class and which days are not. So for me, the way that it worked out was the beginning of the year, we have a lot of 5-day school weeks. And then kind of as the holidays begin to step in, we take full weeks off there. And then when the winter comes, like those January, February, March months, we have 5-day week, 4-day week, 5-4, 5-4 alternating. So I have Friday off every other week. And that really gave me kind of a good feeling that we wouldn't be burned out, especially I remember when I was teaching public school, February, March, up till spring break, which is in April, were really tough months because you just don't have any breaks and it's just 5 days all day, every day. So education is really important to me and I don't want my kids to resent it. And so it's important that I have those days off, okay? I think I've spent enough time talking about this. But anyway, so now you kind of get the gist. This is how I start planning my school year. What days are you gonna be in school and will it be enough days to cover the amount of curriculum that you want to cover, okay? Start there. Step 2 is going to be to take your curriculum and move it into a spreadsheet so that you can see what you're going to be doing on what days, all right? Now this spreadsheet is a printable that I got off of another website. Her name is Megan Phillips. I'm going to link it down below. So I wanna make sure I give credit where it's due. I'm still using this. I've been using it for a couple of years. So kudos and thank you to her and her YouTube channel, which has given me this resource and I now share it with you, okay? So essentially what it is, across the top here, you'll see I've got all my subjects listed, and along the side here is going to be the Monday. So this is the date of the Monday for that particular school week. And you'll see on some of these, if it can focus, 4 days. So on the week of 9/16, we will have a Friday off that week, okay? This is only 3 days of August 22nd because we're going on a trip for the end of the week, or I'll be busy or whatever. Something's happening the end of that week. So I wanted to remember that there were only going to be 3 school days that week. In doing that, you can then begin to drop in what lessons you're going to be doing for the correlating weeks, okay? So let me see, for example, if I can do this right. I don't know why it's all crazy. Okay, here we go. So for example, for our character quality, we're gonna be doing intuition. Is that what it is? Intuitive. English, I'm gonna be doing lessons 45, it probably is, 45 to 50. We're gonna be reading Gulliver's Travels, list number 10, The Good and the Beautiful for 15 minutes. My math will be lessons 50 to 54. This is our science lessons we're gonna be doing, lessons 1 and 2. Anyway, so you get the idea, right? I don't even know if that's backwards to you now that I've been showing it to you, but you get the gist, okay? So you drop in, you get your actual curriculum books and you thumb through those pages or go through the table of contents or the scope and sequence or whatever you want to go to and just drop those numbers in. So if it's a 3-day school week, then you put 3 lessons in. If it's a 5-day school week, put in 5 lessons so that you know exactly what it is you're going to be completing on which days, okay? When I'm finished, this is 4 pages for me, the entire school year from the beginning, well, we start in about mid-July up until the middle of May, all of my school weeks are finished. And I number them, number 1, 2, we have about 38 weeks of school, I think, maybe 37. I think it's 38. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that the whole school year is completely planned out and what I want to have achieved. Now, if any time during the school year we fall behind, that's when I start to go through that particular curriculum. Like for example, last year it was math or English, I think even. And you kind of look at what the lesson is covering and decide, is this something that's being covered substantially in the upcoming lessons? Is this something that we've covered several times in the past lessons? Is my student understanding it? And then you begin to kind of toss out those lessons so that I can catch up. I'm putting you, but I should be saying I. That's what I do, and it's a suggestion of what you can do if you begin to fall behind. So I'll thumb through the lesson, begin to pull out, and I'm not gonna lie, it kind of hurts a little bit. Sometimes I feel like we're not doing these pages, we're missing out, but as the homeschooler in me begins to get a little more experienced, it begins to feel a little more natural to not be totally committed or married to, the term they use a lot of times is a slave to your curriculum, where you feel like you have to do those pages, okay? So that's why this system works for me, is because if in the event we get sick or something happens or I'm out serving the community for an event that happens or whatever it is, if we do fall behind, I can kind of, fudge around and move around those lessons so we can get caught back up. And then if at the end of the year we need to have one quick makeup week or something, then that's fine. Or if we dump a couple of lessons, then that works too. But this system really does lay out how you're going to complete your curriculum in the weeks that you have planned from your first step, okay? Then you're going to be into step 3. In step 3, you're going to now take this page and move all of your curriculum from their books into a crate like this, okay? So I've showed this crate before. I've used it before. This is my 3rd year using the crate. However, this is my 1st year using a crate for more than one student. Now, when I've seen other people do this crate for more than one student, I wish I knew how, but I don't know how they do it. How they can have one color for all of the same student in the same position, okay? Let me explain what I'm talking about. And then when you see it in other people, you'd be like, maybe you already know the answer, but here it is, okay? So, oops, this might be kind of tricky to show. Maybe I should turn the camera around. Hold on just a second. Okay, so here's what I'm showing you. I have labeled here all of the weeks of our school year, and I only do half, okay? You can get another set of these hanging file folders and label them up to 38 weeks or 40 weeks or 35 weeks or 32, whatever it is. But I just do it till Christmas break, which is our 20th week, okay? Now these file folders are gonna correlate with this page here, week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, see? Okay, so all of these numbers correlate with these weeks. And then inside each one, I have 2 file folders because I have 2 students. So, well, that one has 3 for a bad example. Here we go, okay? 2 file folders for 2 students. Now, as I was explaining before, some people who show this, they'll have all of their like first student, their oldest child, will be blue, and this tab will be on the side. And all the way down the side of their thing is gonna be these nice blue tabs to show like, here's all my oldest child's work. And then their second child will all be in green, and this whole section, every single hanging folder will have a green centered file. This is my thing, kids, is I don't even know how they do that, because when you buy a pack, especially when you buy a pack of colorful folders, it's gonna have the 3 positions of each color, and there's not enough to like go 34 weeks, let alone my 38 weeks. So there's no rhyme or reason to the color is essentially the moral of the story here. Okay, I just have one in the front. The front file folder is my oldest child. The second one behind it is my second student. And then when my 3rd student shows up, they will be the 3rd one behind. I only have 3 school-aged, or I only have 3 kids. 2 right now that are school-aged, okay? So what you end up doing is you get 1 file folder per child, and you're gonna put it in each of the weeks, okay? Then I do this by subject. So I would choose English first, and I'm gonna go all the way down this row by ripping out lesson pages, workbook pages 1 through 6, and I'm gonna put workbook pages 1 through 6 in the first file folder, okay? Then I'm gonna go to week 2, it's gonna be workbook pages 7 through 16. Now when I get into the second one here, you'll see I have workbook pages in here 7 through 16, right? And these are my students' English pages, okay? So you're gonna do that all the way back till you get to week 20. When I get to week 20, then this is Christmas break. So then during Christmas break, I'll do it a second time. And I like it. It's kind of like rejuvenating because in my head, I'm like, oh, we're, you know, halfway done. We're getting closer to the end of the school year. And it's just fun for me to like get my fingers on all fresh curriculum again, just as a fresh start. So anyway, so I do that for all the subjects that need it, okay? So spelling list is going to be spelling list 1. You'll see in here, I've got, oh, this is list 2 for week 2, obviously, okay? So then I have that in there, which I've printed off for his spelling curriculum. Math is going to have the same thing. Take the book and actually rip out the pages and put them in here, okay? So I've done that all the way back for my first student. Then I do the same thing for my second student, okay? So you can see here she's in junior kindergarten and we're doing some letter review. These are the pages in the curriculum that I've chosen for her that I want her to complete in that second week, okay? Let me see if I can put that back for future reference. Okay, so from there, you are now planned for your entire school year. Obviously, I have it in my crate for only half of the school year. As I mentioned, I stop at week 20, but you can do it for the full 34 to 40 weeks, whatever number that you have, if you have enough file folders and hanging files for your crate, okay? Either way that you want to do it. The storage here is super, super easy, so you can have all of your kids' curriculum in one file folder. The one that I saw that I modified after is had like 3 students in there, I think. Maybe even 4, but you can for sure fit 3. And then if you've got lots of school-aged kids, maybe you've got 6 or 8, then you just would duplicate and have maybe 2 crates going for your school day, okay? So from there, now you're completely finished. And from then, it's just a matter of the night before or maybe at the end of the week. So I do mine usually, I don't know, sometimes I do it Friday night, sometimes I do it Sunday evening, depending on kind of how the weekend, how excited I am for the weekend. But I will set out all of the stuff, all of the schoolwork that needs to happen for my kiddo at the end or just before the beginning of the new school week. So we do a binder system. So I have binders here, and they're both a little bit different. This is my older students, and on these tabs, you can't really see, but it's day 1 through day 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on my junior kindergartner, she's got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on her tabs. I just couldn't decide which way I wanted, and by the time I had done the second one, I changed my mind, so that's the only reason why they're different. But anyway, what you do is that behind each of those tabs, you're going to pull out your work here from your file folder. Let me see if I can grab it for you. Pull out your work from your file folder and then just divide it up. Last year, I divided it by subject. It was very simple and easy because then you just took all the English pages and stuck it behind the English tab. You took all of your math pages, stuck it behind your math tab. This year, my son decided that he wanted to do it by day so that he could just finish all of one tab and then be finished instead of having to flip the tabs by subject. So we're gonna try that here at the beginning of this school year. That's one thing that's a little bit different from last year, and hopefully, we'll see if it works out. It is a little bit more work on my part because I need to then just separate. Essentially what I do is I just make 5 piles in front of me if it's a 5-day school week, and then, you know, just kind of collate them. Is that the right word? Collate them. So you put one English page, 1 math page. Anyway, just kind of divide it up among the pages. Because previously I have already picked out what pages needed to be completed in that week, okay? So if you do something a little ambitious and in one subject you need to complete 2 lessons in one day, then just decide what day you want your student to do those 2 lessons. It also gives a little bit of liberty to your student if they want to complete some of Tuesday's work on Monday, then they kind of can feel that progression happening in their folder. Whereas last year when we did it by subject, I'm assuming that he felt that change, but maybe he didn't. But anyway, and then you're set and ready for a whole new school week. So that is how I organize all of my curriculum for the entire school year. If you haven't seen my curriculum videos, then check those links. I'll see if I can link them up above for you. But my curriculum is very eclectic. I do not choose one publisher and have all of the subjects from one publisher. I do have a few publishers that are my favorites, and I do pick several things from them, but I don't have necessarily one publisher curriculum. So this method really works for me because then I can kind of scoop all of those pieces together and put them into one folder for our one day. And then when school is over, we just close the binders, put everything away, and I don't have to worry about pulling out pages for the next day or figuring out, okay, now what are we gonna do for this next subject? Or am I going to finish in time? And when can I take a break? And is my test day going to end on a Friday? Or am I gonna be in like, you know, have a whole weekend or a huge break before we get to taking that test? So anyway, it's been a great system for me. I hope that maybe there's something in this video that you can then kind of glean from and switch up and make it work for your family. If you did find value in this video, I ask for a little thumbs up. It makes me feel like hopefully what I'm sharing is of worth to some of you guys out there. And leave a comment if you have a question, or if there's like a modification or something that you have found that works really well, because I love knowing and learning new ways that I can organize our schoolrooms so that it can be more efficient and just a better homeschool place for us. Anyway, make sure you check out my other Back to Homeschool Life videos. I'm going to be posting several of them here so you can kind of get an idea of how I organize and get ready for our new school year. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll catch you in another video.